Now we're joined by head coach Phil Neville.
Afternoon, guys. I think it was a real strange game, really. I think I knew after Wednesday night there was that fear that there was going to be a emotional drop off. Yesterday in training, the day before in training, I didn't see it. And I suppose we'll never know. But the first two goals were disastrous for us in terms of the start we had to the game, which then I suppose killed the atmosphere in the stadium and in the team. And the one thing I've said to him in there then is that I'm incredibly proud that the goal that we scored in the second half got us into sixth position. And I think that's testament to the fact that, you know, if you take small wins, we lost the game pretty convincingly. But if we take small games, we won the second half. We were a bit better in the second half in terms of our control. We did create some opportunities, I felt, but we played against a really good team, and that really good team just in the first 10 minutes won the game, really, and then we couldn't recover from that. Then we got ragged, and it was a real struggle after that until we got to half time. And you know, I've got to say that, you know, the big push from the team has been to get into the playoffs, and the challenge now is that when you want to be one of the best teams, or you want to be the best player, the best players know how to go week in, week out, regardless of success or no success. And for this young team, they've got inexperience of playing massive nights on Wednesday, then going again on Saturday. And then, so it was a big learning curve for us. But what I've said to him in there, then we've just got to be super proud of the sixth place position. And now is where the fun begins. We've probably, alongside we're probably the only team that's been in playoff mode for the last month or two. We've had to win every single game. So when we're approaching the next game, it's not as if we're going to playoff mode now. We feel as if we've been playoff mode for the last 6 weeks. So it's something that we should be used to, looking forward to, excited about, and we're going to go and play another good team, and we're looking forward to it.
If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get started with Michelle Kaufman.
Phil, you said you didn't really detect any letdown in the training. How surprised were you then? What, from your vantage point, what happened on those first two goals? I mean, they were both just
individual mistakes.
Yeah,
individual mistakes. The third one was an individual mistake. I think when I said to him at half time, forget tactics and systems and diamonds and 3-5-2s, but if you can't defend 1v1, if you make individual mistakes, if you let people just waltz past you, it doesn't matter what system. You can have 14 players on the pitch and you're still going to concede goals. So that's something that really disappointed me. And I told the back four before the game that we had to defend well to win the game. And tonight was probably our poorest. You think back to Cincinnati, you know, Cincinnati was probably equal to that in terms of individual mistakes by our defenders. So I think Cincinnati was in July, maybe was it August, July. Then they've defended well since then. So I hope it's another 2 months, 3 months before we have another repeat of that. So there was parts of our play in the first half I thought was really good in terms of our possession, but it was just every time they found space, they looked dangerous, and it killed our momentum.
We'll go to Jose.
Thank you. Phil, ask you about Robert Taylor. In the first half, we saw him, at least I saw him go through the middle a little bit more and ask for the ball. What were you expecting from him this afternoon? And second quick question on Higuain, how is he doing after the elbow? Was it something just to, prevent something else from happening?
Well, Bryce was unlucky not to start, but he cramped up incredibly the other night. And I think our experience of players that have played 2 games in a short space of time and then cramp up with 20 minutes to go, but go through it and then are exhausted after the game, they're a massive injury risk, and we can't afford an hamstring at this moment in time. So Robert was ready to play in the 10. I think he did okay in it. He got Gregory back in the team, which we needed. And I thought Indiana, after his performance against Orlando, thoroughly deserved to stay in the team. So, and like I say, I think in the first, taking out their goals, I thought Lassiter, Higuain, I thought we looked really dangerous on the counter attack, but the start to the game was disastrous. Well, I suppose he has to be, because he's our only fit centre forward in the club. So I think he's There's no way we're going to keep that guy out of the next game,
We'll go
even
to
if it's
Austin.
with one arm.
I was just wondering, Phil, if you have any initial thoughts on the matchup against New York City FC away from home. I know it's a quick turnaround to think from this game to the next, but any initial thoughts on New York City FC away?
Yeah, I think the first thing first, we'd like to know when we're playing. It's incredible. We don't know when we're playing, what time kickoff is, how we can plan our week. If it's Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, it does change the week. So we're waiting. We're waiting to be told when we're playing, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, I'm playing against a manager that's a real close friend and who's done an absolutely outstanding job against a really good team. They beat us, we beat them this year. I think the game's going to be at Red Bulls Arena. So the pitch is going to be really nice to play football on. So we're really looking forward to it. I think they're a team that's come back into form after there was 5 or 6 games when they didn't seem to be getting the right results when Castellanos left. But I think they've got their mojo back now a little bit. I don't know how they've gone on today. Have they won today? They've won away. So that shows how good a team that they are.
We'll go to Andres Cordero and Scott.
Hi, Coach. Went back to like April 9th, I think best home record in the Eastern Conference. I think in the entire MLS, only LAFC were better. So early goals will zap the crowd out of it. But how much are these fans in this crowd? Like how has that gotten to you guys getting 10 wins at home, one of the best home records in Major League Soccer?
I mean, compare it to last year, we couldn't win a game at home last year. It seemed like the games were too big for the guys last year. It seemed like there was too much pressure. And I have felt since I've come into Miami as if that every game at home is a playoff type game. There's a buzz in the air in this part of America. I think they've got high demands. They only want to see winners. You see the reaction today when we were 2-3-0 down. They're not happy because this town's used to people that win and they want to see winners. And I think they've enjoyed watching us win this year, but we've only won because of their support. And they've been absolutely sensational. The buzz, the support, the messages that we get. They stay outside and we sign autographs for hours and hours after the game. They just live and die. They just live and die for this football club. They are the foundation heart of this club with 100%. When you take any DP, any manager away from this club will always be strong because of those supporters. And we're so lucky. I say to the players all the time, is that you do not know how lucky that you've got it to play for a set of supporters like that, because you go to other clubs and they don't have a following like we have. And that's probably why we so desperately wanted a home playoff. One, because of our form, but two, to give our supporters something really, really special. Unfortunately, it's not.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, Scott.
Second one.
Congratulations, Coach, for getting into playoffs, first of all. Okay. Let's talk about the totality of your season and where you were a year ago versus where you are now. How delighted are you in terms of the progression of the program, where it is now versus what you had to deal with a year ago? Because you already said some of it already with the home situation, but you have to try to evaluate it for the most part for the entire year going forward.
Yeah, we I suppose the start of the season was something that we didn't want, but we knew what would happen. It was an adaptation period, integration period. We were getting to know the players in terms of their adaptation to MLS. We had injuries. And then there was that period from New England when we saw really what we recruited. And then I suppose the turning point of the season has been Gonzalo Higuain, the DP that's took this team on their back and has performed incredibly, and is probably the reason that we're in 6th position. You think about an ingredient of a cake. You've got the base and all the ingredients, but he is the cherry. He's the cherry, and we've had some outstanding performances from a lot of players, consistency from a lot of players. I feel as if we've got the best goalkeeper in the MLS. Oh, we've got the best goalkeeper in the MLS. I think McVeigh's had an outstanding season. Campana is going to be a star. Gonzalo has been a star. Lassiter, I think, has been so good. Motta, Gregory, the list goes on. And players have had their first season in MLS and actually grown into it, loved it, been consistent. But I suppose it's the sum of the parts that's more important to us. We've built a football team, not just a team of individuals. And there are probably teams in this league that's got better individuals than us, but they haven't got a better team in terms of the spirit. These guys love being with each other. They love coming to work every morning. And me, Jason, Mark, Brett, Seba, we love coaching this group. And I feel, even after today, I feel as if there's so much growth. I'm never satisfied, because I think those young players that I've mentioned have still got so much more to give and so much more development, and so much their ceiling is so high, and we've just got to keep pushing them.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.